Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go ahead and start a Shattered Pixel Dungeon run with the Warrior class. Like the last couple of videos, we're going to be playing with hostile champions and batter bosses enabled as challenges. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So when you pick the warrior, immediately you'll notice, so we've got the worn short sword is actually one of the, I think it's the best tier 1 weapon in that it has the highest damage ceiling, and you've also got excuse me, 15 shots worth of throwing stones across three items that give the warrior a pretty seriously powerful early game, honestly. Combined with the fact that you start off with the warrior's seal, which provides you with some nominal shielding every once in a while. It adds up over the course of the run. It's actually a lot better than it sounds. Initially, I thought it wasn't bad or good because it's only like 3 or 4 shielding to start with, but the way it regens, it adds up. The probably more interesting, in my opinion, piece of the ward are the let's see what it's called, the seal, the warrior's seal that's currently attached to my armor, is that it will actually preserve an upgrade scroll. So what that's going to do for us is that it incentivizes us to actually identify the upgrade scroll early, because we can always upgrade our armor that has the seal on it, and we never lose that upgrade, because anytime we get a better set of armor, we just re-affix the seal to that new better set of armor, and it keeps that one upgrade. We can only do that for the first upgrade scroll, but it is still pretty nice. It gives the warrior another bit of a kind of like a slow drip survivability, since his armor is always or should always be +1 compared to what it would be for any other class on the same seed. And that's kind of how we're going to be playing the warrior, at least for the first 10 floors, is you want to focus on tankiness over damage, especially because, like I said, the worn short sword is, like, I would, if I could pick up the worn short sword on any other class, I'd be happy to fight Goo with it, and I am happy to fight Goo with the worn short sword on warrior, so it's not as important that you build your offense up early, and the warrior incentivizes you to build your defense up a little bit earlier without losing resources, which is nice. The warrior is probably the best user of this earthen wand. I don't know if it's bad or I just personally dislike it, but I've never been impressed by this wand before, so hopefully it impresses me this run. I guess we should also see if it's cursed too, which we have not done yet. And I think that's the entire floor, barring any secret rooms, which we're not going to look for right now. So let's go ahead and go down to floor 2. We've got 2 scrolls here, and like I said, I do want to just try to read them early because I want to find the upgrade scroll. Brilliant Flash of Light, I think that means that's a terror scroll. No, it was a rage scroll. Excuse me. Then we'll try the other one, and yeah, that is upgrade, so we're going to upgrade, and it's going to look weird that we're upgrading the cloth armor, but you still want to do it, because what's going to happen is, if I detach the seal, this broken seal here, you see it's still just a normal cloth armor, but then I can affix this to any uncursed identified armor that you have, which is important to remember those two, that the armor has to be uncursed and identified. So I'm actually going to break with the way I play the other classes here a little bit. Normally I would always go for the damage talent first, but with the warrior specifically, I like to max out Veteran's Intuition immediately so that I always identify armor upon equipping it. Just because playing without the seal while you're trying to identify armor can really hurt. It can cost you a lot of health long term, and that's kind of how you want to look at the warriors. You want to look at the warrior as a you have enough defensive stats that you get to kind of average everything out, and you want to look at your health pool as something that you're tracking over time. and like considering your consumables part of your health pool and whatnot. So we got a floor 2 sad ghost. That means fetid rat, which is nice because that's probably the easiest one in my opinion, especially for the warrior. I guess the crab is fairly easy, but it's the crab's kind of tedious, I think. I don't know. The fetid rat's my favorite one to fight in terms of difficulty, and of course this is kind of an odd level layout so far. I guess we could go back up here and hope that the rat spawns near this water room, which would be a yeah, there we go. Just gonna go ahead and throw our stones at him. And then standard thing with the fetid rat, you always kite him. We're going to bring him to the door, and now we're just going to hit him every time we move, and eventually kill him pretty easily. So, we'll get back to the ghost. We don't need to go... I think it's more efficient to go pick up our stones and then check out this part of the dungeon first. And we're not in desperate need of the reward. Got a lot of leather armor we're picking up. I don't want to try equipping any of it. Let's get the second point in Veteran's Intuition. I don't want to try equipping any of it until I see what the ghost reward is, because there's a chance that I equip a piece of cursed armor and then the ghost gives me something I want to wear immediately, and I'm bummed out about it. It looks like our Earthen Protection Wand is not cursed, which is nice. Hopefully we'll be able to find something to do with that. We've got a projecting rat up there, which is kind of annoying. I think we have enough HP and tankiness to just... Oh, and he didn't notice us either. That's real nice. There we go. I think we're gonna circle kite the knoll, because even though the rat is projecting, it's still a rat. As you notice, it's hitting me for 0, 2, 0. Yeah. So I let the rat hit me there for a while, but because I'm able to upgrade my armor earlier than you would normally want to, it's not super important. Okay. The stylus, I actually like to save them until... Okay, so we've got mail armor here, or runic blade. This is kind of a tough one. I think either of these are good. Ultimately, I would rather focus on my defense first and wait for an actual tier 5. Like the warrior, you really want your damage to be carried by the base damage of your item, in my opinion. So I don't really like the runic blade, since it's kind of a it's effectively a tier 5 scaling item, but with tier 4 base damage. So not bad, and the fact that you can equip it at 14 strength at +3 is really strong in a lot of runs, but it's not what I'm going for here. +2 mail armor is really strong. That means that before we get to goo, actually, we're going to be able to affix our seal to it and bring the strength requirement down to 12 and actually be able to equip that as soon as we... honestly, we'll probably equip it as soon as we find the first strength potion, because the penalties of being 1 strength under requirement for armor aren't actually that bad. Ooh, we got a summon here, so that's actually especially true in this case. We're gonna go ahead and guess that the charcoal potion is probably a strength potion, just because we're on floor 2, so we can't possibly have 2 strength potions at this point. But we should have at least 1 strength potion, and actually, yeah, given that we've explored... Oh, no, there could technically be another potion down here. Technically, this is a little bit risky that I'm just going to drink the potion here, but yeah, it's the strength potion, and we're going to go ahead and affix our seal to that mail armor, and then we're going to equip that +3 mail armor. And we're going to take some penalties from it, but blocking 3 to 15 damage in a summon room on floor 1, like, everything's going to be hitting us for 0. We don't care if they attack faster than us. So now, I do like to start this off by throwing an item in rather than walking in, just because I think it's I think you don't want to get yourself trapped in the room in any way, shape, or form. We're going to use the wand to kill this snake right in front of us, just because the wand is going to guaranteed hit And we're probably going to save our other wand charges for the other snakes. But yeah, you see, we're taking a lot of hits here as we're killing things, but everything is just hitting us for 0. And we can just stand here, and this technically is costing us a lot of food points, but it should be real nice to. Okay, so we got another snake there. Let's go ahead and zap it with the wand. And eventually we're going to have to kite one of these snakes out the door, but again, everything's hitting me. I don't think I've taken a... Oh, I took 1 point of damage for the first time there, this entire trap room. Oh, we got lucky and we just hit the snake. That's pretty nice. Right now I'm just mashing the key that attacks the previous enemy or the nearest enemy. So, kill that last rat, take another damage. Oh, we actually missed the snake even with our surprise attack. That's okay though. And there we go. Yeah, did not seem like we were punished too much for using armor. This is a bit too heavy for us. And actually, now that I've got a really strong +3 mail armor that's going to carry me for a while, I am going to go ahead and inscribe it. And we're going to get thorns on it, so that's a pretty insane combo. You see the evasive Knoll actually just killed himself on my armor there. So we really don't need to worry about offense for a while. This we are going to be able to tank a lot of damage. And okay, so that means the white potion is the only other potion besides healing that I've gotten, so this has to be a frost potion. Let's clear that firewall, collect all our goodies. Scroll of Kaunan. We have 2 scrolls of Kaunan. That's kind of interesting. Hopefully it's something useful like remove curse or identify maybe. I don't know which scroll. No, I have identify. So likely it's not likely. I'm kind of being wishful here that it's something good, but yeah, we should have a really smooth first 5 floors at this point with a +3 mail armor of thorns. Technically, it would be more like we're losing more hunger points because the armor is slowing us down. Because it costs us more turns to move around. But again, we're taking such little damage that I don't mind if I'm starving for a little bit. I've got a health potion. I can use the flask if I need to, and I can always eat food when I'm at like half HP or something like that. So. Normally we would try to use our thrown weapons against the projecting Knoll there, but since we just can't take damage, doesn't matter. The fly, we're actually going to fight him as inefficiently as possible to try to get more chances at a health potion spawn here. And unfortunately the thorns is going to kind of work against us here, but we still got quite a few splits on that fly, so we're pretty happy with that. Caustic Ooze. Still want to wash that off, because it's not affected by armor. Ooh, the crab actually hit me for 3. Not crazy about that. Yeah, one of these is a mimic. So we're gonna stand in the doorway here, use the wand. Because you can't, you can't, like, target the mimic with an attack. But if you use a ranged attack or something that's able to target the ground, then you can hit the mimic. Because the game doesn't want to give away that it's hostile. Alright, we're about half HP here, so we'll go ahead and eat some food now. And just shoot the crab with the... I have a bad habit of letting wands go unidentified in my inventory for too long, because I don't... I prioritize like saving the effect for when I need it, but I think that's just not the proper way to... leather armor of selling for $1. We should have thrown some stuff down the chasm when we had it over there. We probably are going to come back to, because shurikens are actually pretty interesting as thrown weapons. They you're able to throw them for free after moving, or as an instant action, one at a time. It's actually more useful. I should also point out that it's not as worth it for me to door kite when I'm wearing armor that's too heavy, by the way, because it's likely that I'm going to... how do I want to explain this? It's likely that it's going to cost me 2 actions the turn I back up through a door anyway, and the enemy's going to get to attack or act twice, move through the door, and then attack me and prevent me from getting a surprise round anyway. So it's not as worth doing. We'll turn a seed of blindweed into some energy, see what we get. And we've got exotic crystals, 13-leaf clover, dimensional sundial. Don't particularly like any of these. Dimensional sundial can be decent if you like farming stuff. I can imagine it being useful for speedrunning too, but I'm not sure. I can't imagine you'd actually go to the alchemy lab too many times for a speedrun. Exotic crystals is pretty decent. I just don't particularly like it, and the 13-leaf clover is... I don't think it's useful. It could be interesting. We're going to see what the random trinket is. And we've got a rat skull, which we're actually going to keep. The unique enemies often have interesting loot compared to normal, and I also think it makes it a little bit more fun. So we're going to go with that. We are going to go ahead and turn extra consumables into energy. Especially because it identifies them, which is really nice. For the rat skull, I believe we're going for 24 energy total. So that was a remove curse that we got doubles of. That's actually really nice. And as long as we don't lose a transmute scroll here, we're not happy about disenchanting either of those. So recharging, that's fine. Mirror image, that's fine. That's going to give us 25 energy, which should give us enough to max out the rat skull immediately. And there we go. We're pretty happy with that. That also has the added effect of clearing up a lot of space in our inventory, which is at a real premium before we've gotten any of the inventory increasing items like the potion holder or the scroll holder. So let's go ahead and throw armor we're not going to wear into the pit. And that is all, barring any secret rooms, which we're not going to look for. There's probably a door right there where the 2 rooms touch. Yeah. Oh, and we can pick up the spear and the shurikens now too, which is cool. And let's go ahead and let's quick slot those shurikens, because they're pretty good. This isn't going to be relevant until we're at the proper strength to use this armor, which is going to be when we find the strength potion that is guaranteed to be on this floor now. See how many flies we can spawn. There's 1 health potion drop. That's pretty nice. We take that. And some crabs. We're gonna, I guess, just kill them both immediately with the thorns on the armor. What, fair and balanced. Okay, so now we're at 12 strength, and it's no longer reducing our speed to wear this armor, which is pretty sweet. Another scroll of upgrade. Ooh, I think we just got lucky on an accidental identification of a secret room. Yeah, we did, and we got a boomerang early. That's interesting. We got 3 boomerangs early. Huh. I don't have to think about that one. The boomerang is a I think that the boomerang is uniquely useful as a ranged weapon to spend resources on, just because it will always return to you. So having a boomerang that is at least +3 and has infinite charges can actually be pretty relevant. It can keep you in combat. It's pretty interesting for the gladiator subclass, where maintaining your combo can be really hard. So having a boomerang that can always do so at plus 50% accuracy from range is can be pretty relevant. And I think that the gladiator subclass is regarded on the internet as worse. I'm not 100% sure than berserker. I do tend to like the gladiator subclass more, though. I think it's I don't like the the undershirt mechanic, the you can't die if you have full rage mechanic that's on Berserker. Not like it's a fine power fantasy, and I don't think it's overpowered or anything. It's just not a playstyle I enjoy. Which is why you'll notice that I pretty much always ignore the onks in shops when I'm playing the game, even though those are generally very powerful items that you do want to get if you're trying to absolutely maximize your chances of winning or having a successful run. It technically could be a little bit dangerous to just equip the ring there, by the way, but we know we have some remove curse scrolls, and rings can be real powerful. So even if it was cursed, we still want to equip it and use the remove curse scroll to get whatever the benefit is. We're going to demonstrate. So what happens with the shurikens, by the way, is every time we move, we can throw one shuriken for free without allowing the enemies to go. So it can be really useful for like thinning out a crowd before, like in that situation, I was able to mostly kill the gnoll there before the rest of the enemies got to me, which didn't matter because my armor is overpowered right now, but, hypothetically, I imagine you can see how that could matter. We really want to find... We're going to get unlucky, and yeah, we just don't have no chasm spawns, which is kind of a bummer. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and kill that gnoll. We're not, by the way, worried at all about saving charges on our throwing rocks anymore. We got a lot of thrown weapon spawns, and even more on the map over here. So we're going to walk in here, and then we're going to make a nice tidy pile of... God, we got a lot. We just got so many thrown weapons. That's so awesome. Yeah, we're just going to make a nice tidy pile of all of our thrown weapons. We're not really going to use them against goo, I believe. And that gives us 5 slots to play with. That should be plenty. We'll go and finish... we've already finished exploring floor 4, but we do want to collect the last couple of pieces of sellable gear. And I'm still letting my HP drop down to about half, by the way, until I use the food. We should be... I haven't spent any of my other talent points either. The rest of the warrior talent points I don't think are super interesting either way. Hearty meal might be decent, but I really don't like letting my... I want to eat before I dip down all the way to 30%. And the amount of healing you get for taking that risk I don't think is worth it, so I generally skip hearty meal entirely. Other than that, I think that 1 extra point on Iron Will is worth more than 1 extra point on Provoked Anger. So this is the talent split I usually do for Tier 1 on Warrior. Okay, what are we doing? We can't pick up those throwing spears. Which... do we care? You know what, we'll drink the Sparkling Potion, because we are starving. That allows us to pick up the thrown weapon. I do want to be careful. I think we got enough thrown weapon drops to guarantee the ranged weapon holster if we were to just walk into floor 6 with the shop with all of this. So if I drop all of my thrown weapons here, except for the wand, I have mostly potions, and I should get the potion bandolier from the shopkeeper. So that's pretty relevant. This tuft of grass is almost perfect. There's water adjacent to it, but we can still circle kite the boss around it if we need to. Unfortunately, we got a boss room spawn with no grass, which is a bummer. So we're gonna check all of the side rooms. And again, you don't have to have any pressure to goo is not any faster than you, and he'll get lost pretty easily and stop looking for you. So it's really not dangerous to explore the layout of the map and really look for the best spot to fight him in. Okay, so it looks like this tuft of grass is the only place we actually can fight him. So we're gonna have to let him regen a little bit of health, and it's gonna be a little bit slow. But with the thorns and the +3 mail armor, I don't think it should matter that much. And it will have the added benefit of us never having to adjust our game plan to clear the caustic debuff, since we'll also be stepping in the water once every cycle of the circle kite. So there we go. Yeah, and this is just like any other goo kill. Very simple, very circle kiting. There we go. We finally get a Thorns proc on him, starting doing some damage. So none of the really insane kills that you'll get if you manage to get like a Dark or a Sickle or something to do this on floor 1 or 2. But as you see, the even like the completely unupgraded sword is still doing respectable damage. We just got some purple light shining on that boss kill, which I think means there's an extra drop there. And there is. We got an enchantment stone. We got a bunch of rune stones. Enchantment, Deep Sleep, and Clairvoyance. That's pretty interesting. So let's go ahead and go to the next floor. I also want to look for the Rat King, if I can. See if there's anywhere obvious. We're going to check here just because there's a relatively small surface area of possible places he could be in this room spawn. And there he is. I think it tends to be worth however much hunger it takes to check for the Rat King, just because it's like a guaranteed 200 gold. But on the flip side, if you find it boring to hunt for the Rat King, it's not the end of the world if you don't. Absolutely skip it if the thought of doing so bores you to tears. Let's find the shop, grab that potion bandolier, and we will sell all of the gear that we're not going to be using from the first couple floors. It's good, nice clean inventory. And then let's go back upstairs and collect all of the stuff that we left down here. So our excuse me, absolute bounty of thrown weapons. And technically we do lose a little bit of inventory space by specifically selecting to get the potion bandolier there instead of the magical item holster, but I find that long term it's generally the right choice to make sure that you get the magical item holster last, unless you very specifically want the durability preserving benefits of the magical holster. But the value of so we're gonna kill that projecting skeleton real quick just because I'd rather not have him following me through the room and being present for the very beginning of the next episode. We are going to go ahead and call it here after we do our shopping. What else are we gonna... We're going to go ahead and sell the throwing rocks just because we have so many thrown weapons. We don't want to waste our time throwing the weakest ones. Everything else looks good though. And then as far as purchasing anything on this floor, we're kind of interested in the Arcane Stylus, but we can probably pick that up if we return later on to this shop. We don't know what the Crimson Potion is, but we're incentivized to buy potions because we have plenty of inventory space for potions. What are our scrolls? Remove Curse is always good to have a bunch of. Recharging and Identify. Also, that's interesting. So since we have 3 of these scrolls identified, and we know that there will be 1 magic mapping per shop no matter what, we know that Laguz is actually going to be magic mapping. So we're going to go ahead and item type note is Laguz, and we'll call that magic map. And that's it's actually pretty. It's you get a little bit rewarded if you can identify the magic map scroll without actually like identifying it in game, because the merchant will sell it for the price of a standard scroll if it's unidentified. But if it is identified, they'll charge a little bit more for it. Like this would be 400 gold right now if the magic map scroll is identified. We're going to leave it there just because I don't necessarily want it to clog my inventory space right now, and I don't have a ton of gold to play with. I think I would rather get the Identify and the Remove Curse, likely. The Identifies and Remove Curses are really what allow you to try out armor drops on the warrior, and weapon drops to a lesser extent, but I think I play this class as more of an armor-focused build most of the time. So that's going to be all of our money. Go ahead and go back to the previous floor, and yeah, I think we're gonna end the episode there. So As always, if you guys have any questions about anything you saw on the run, any comments about what I said or what I did during the video, then let me know. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.